Anthony Jeselnik, if you know his work, he says things one should not, all in the interests of comedy. His humor is very dark. He does not like children. He makes jokes about himself being a serial killer. And in his latest special, I think it's almost, he's the guy that pokes the bear. If you follow him on social media, it's like he will say the thing you shouldn't say when some tragic news event happens. He always says it. It's like don't do it, don't, and he does it. And if he's even told to not do something, that's the thing he will make a joke about first. And in his new special on Netflix, Anthony Jeselnik, Bones and All, and you should see his other comedy specials as well. I don't recall the names of those specials, but I watch everything he does. And he opens with a joke, specifically was the closer joke originally. He made it his opening joke because someone told him not to tell that joke. It's like, if you tell him not to do it, it's the first thing. And of course, what is the joke about, Alan?
Trans.
the trans
issue, yes.
Yes, the trans community. It might be one of the funniest dark jokes, the gallows humor, as he rightly points out, I've ever heard. Alan, I loved it. I've watched it twice now. It's hysterical. From the opener to the closer. And he says it in a way, I don't know, like, I kind of think that he doesn't really mock trans people per se. It's like the idea of trans and what trans people may think of things. And he's kind of on their side because he makes a joke about how he doesn't like pregnant women. And he's saying this is a joke only for trans people, and tells the joke. And it is one of the darkest, grossest, funniest. It's also like he does things a lot of times I call like a joke grenade. He puts the joke out there, and you have to think about it before you get the joke. So it's like 3, 2, 1. Oh, and then that's a lot of his humor is like that, because you really have to put a picture in your head, a vivid picture of what you're seeing, and it's in this case very gross. Alan, what'd you think? I loved it. A++. Do not miss this. The tide is turning. We can make jokes again about things that previously we could not. So kudos to Netflix for putting this out and doing this special with him. So what are your thoughts, Alan?
I mean, this is Anthony Jeselnik does my favorite kind of humor, and that's humor without restraints. Meaning, you're gonna somebody, but you've got a great joke about it anyways, and you tell it. And the thing about Anthony is that he doesn't tell the joke, just as on the top of his head. He crafts these jokes, and so that tells the trans joke. You sit there wondering, well, is he really being critical, or is he saying something nasty about it, or is he just playing with the game? And he crafts it in such a way that that people can laugh at it and he won't get canceled for it, and it's still a brilliant, funny joke. I watched Jimmy Carr. He's another one of these. Of course, there's the Chappelle specials, and this is the realm in which I liked. This is the stand-up comedy I watch, that I watch. And I mentioned yesterday, I've been watching a lot of Kill Tony lately, and it's the same thing. Just unrestrained, no restraints. And if you're risking getting canceled, by all means, please risk getting canceled, because I want to hear this joke and I want to laugh. I want to laugh again, and I want comedy return to just this idea of pointing out the foibles and the flaws of humanity. And that's why I think Blazing Saddles is one of my favorite comedies. Having said all that, I did like Bones and All, but I would say it was not his best. There's certainly been others that I watched.
Yeah, his earlier specials are even better. So,
yeah. And I think it has a lot to do with this. I thought the Norm Macdonald story was hilarious. And it's just, I think a lot of it has to do with it was raw. Just the idea that these two don't like each other, and what they've done to each other was funny to me. So yeah, look, if you, this is your style of comedy, you know, he hits a triple with this one.
An
But
A
certainly
plus
could have
plus.
done better. Yeah,
A plus plus. And I'll say this also. I watch all the comedy specials, or most of them,
Mhm.
Bill Burr among others. And this is also the same streaming service that has the Will Ferrell documentary about his friend that becomes trans,
Mhm.
or Amelia Perez, which we're going to talk about. I just think that Netflix, it's a very, very I mean, some of their stuff is very woke, and they have this special.
Yeah.
And I think what that shows is both can coexist.
Yeah.
You've got the Will Ferrell documentary. I forget the name of it, Alan.
Will and Harper.
Will and Harper, about his friend who becomes trans. It's a doc. They go on sort of tour across America, kind of looking for transphobia, and they don't really find it. That's the quick review.
Well, they find it, but we know they don't find it.
They don't really. They're kind of looking. Are we gonna get oppressed?
Yeah.
It's like that meme of the crudely
I
drawn.
walked in a room, everyone was staring at me, and I was oppressed.
It's like, yes,
to your point,
okay.
To your point, I mean, Netflix hits the broad spectrum. Yes, there is woke content, and there is good content. So,
yeah, I like the way you put it, Alan. So I like that. Netflix should do that. I think all can coexist. But you're not gonna suppress the days when they were like trying to we're gonna protest the latest Chappelle special. No, you want that on the platform.
Yeah. Well, that's the point, is Netflix has something for everybody. And because of the way Netflix works, is you could choose what you watch and what you don't watch.
Yes.
And the other thing is Netflix knows what's being watched and what's not being watched, which might say something about how we haven't seen a Hannah Gadsby special in a very long time.
And hopefully we never will.